It's May 13th, 2020, Wednesday Night Wars. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Justin LaBar and Matt Morgan, here to talk about all the Wednesday Night Wrestling action. Matt was like, do it fast. There, Matt.
Thanks for stooging me off, Glenn.
I just thought you meant the intro. I thought you meant you had things to say, so get through my intro so Matt can enlighten us with some truth bombs and bring down some wisdom from the heavens, because he's 7 foot tall. He's bigger than all of us.
That, my friends at home, in case those of you still paying attention to this podcast, you can lead with hashtag patronization via Glenn Rubenstein. Thanks, Glenn. I have nothing great to add. Just that, yeah, here we are again. Folks.
Here we are again. A solid night of wrestling. I mean, I don't think
it was
anything was terribly special tonight, but it didn't suck. I mean, if anything, I would say that NXT feels really weird lately, and I can't put my finger on why.
Don't you dare blame Charlotte Flair.
No, it's not. It's not even that. I mean, so it's good they announced they're doing In Your House takeover in June. That gives them some momentum. So I'm hoping next week they get their groove back, as it were.
As it were. All right, folks at home, you should play a drinking game every time Glenn says "as it were." I wonder what shape you all would be in.
Probably worse than I was Sunday night on our Money in the Bank recap.
Or take a drink every time he sighs. Right there. There's one.
Uh-oh. I should have checked for Justin. I don't hear Justin.
Oh, no. Here, let me try this. Hold on. Okay. What about now?
I'm in the middle.
How about now?
Yes, and I'm in the middle. Yes.
The center square. Damn it, Morgan.
Doesn't work. How can I punch you both?
Yes. Matt is punchy tonight.
I don't like being on this side. This is weird.
Well.
Oh, well. No,
what are you going to do? Yeah. Steve Marcochilli, $2.99 super chat before we even went on the air, said NXT In Your House, Ryder Park in Longwood.
Yeah. Yes. What a great idea, Steve.
I wonder where they're going to do it. Probably the Performance Center or Full Sail.
Well, it should be noted, this is not the In Your House is the weekend before they're going to do Backlash, so it's not like it's going to be a place where they're trying to double up. So that's, normally they do takeovers on the same weekend as another WWE pay-per-view, but that's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, I mean,
he's giving me a great idea though. I should try to swing for the fence on it at least, right? Or is there no shot in hell?
I mean, if Full Sail won't let them do it, if they want a bigger venue.
Dude, it'd be outdoors. I think it would be pretty cool looking too.
If it's outdoors, that means we could have enough room. Because look, this can't be you can't have an In Your House, tribute show without having the house and the front porch gimmick set. You got to have that edge.
We have that with our amphitheater, though. We would have that with.
That's what I mean.
Where they would make their entrance would be via the amphitheater. There'd be a ramp that'd go down from the amphitheater onto a 500-yard football field. It's huge. It's a huge greenery. It'd be pretty dope.
That's what I mean, if they pull the In Your House set out of the WWE warehouse, and if they can't fit it at Full Sail, there's no point in doing this. You got to have the In Your House set.
You have to have it. You have to. I agree with you.
Or they do it in someone's backyard. I think outdoors would be awesome.
MTV style, yeah.
Yes. Get a big backyard. I think like backyard wrestling, I think that would be an epic, very unique pay-per-view. And I think, Matt, to your point, I think though it would be safer if they do want a crowd there to do something outdoors, obviously, would be preferable.
It'd be safer, man.
Seriously, recirculated air, something I don't want to breathe for a long time if it involves other people.
Well, I mean,
God, especially airplanes. By the way.
Well, look, I mean, Florida, DeSantis is welcoming pro sports to come there. Arizona's allowing pro sports to be there. So the options are on the table. Options are on the table. It's not. And look, June was In Your House was June 7th, and Backlash is a week later. I mean, that's a month away. Think of how long a month ago was. Like anything could happen the next 4 weeks in terms of what we know.
With this virus, that's a very good point. It does. That thing moved very quickly.
I was talking about this with someone yesterday. Doesn't it feel like March was the longest month ever, but April and May have just gone by in a heartbeat?
May has. For me, March and April have been the slowest months of all time. Oh, my God. But I've been working till 4 a.m. No exaggeration.
Yeah. No, I can't
Always
even
nice.
imagine, man. Seriously, your patience and tolerance. Matt Morgan has the patience of a saint that you do all this to run your city, take care of your family, take care of your obligations, and then watch wrestling on top of that. Good Lord.
This is my getaway. I like it.
Matt, how was the Matt?
You guys and
Well,
the fans are.
oh yeah, how was Monday with?
How was Monday with Matt and Rush?
It was good. It was good. It was there. It was there.
It was there.
Hashtag it was there.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
you guys didn't watch it. You guys had to have watched for shenanigans and chicanery. No,
No, I didn't.
No,
Monday.
no.
I watched Becky Lynch's speech and then tuned out for the night.
I wished the missus a very happy birthday, as well as was making predictions that you cooked for her on her birthday is what I was predicting.
Oh,
and I was trying to think, what would I do for my wife's birthday if we couldn't go anywhere? And because you guys are pretty much staying home more or less.
yes.
And I'm trying to think of the different things Glenn would do, or I would do even in the home, that I would make it special for her birthday. And I'm like, I can't cook, so I'm screwed. Hopefully Glenn could.
I cooked pretty well, but let me tell you what I did. This was sort of, there were gifts, there were other things I did, like, hey, let's watch some movies that we like.
Blue Chew.
Blue
Chew.
Okay.
But
I predicted Blue Chew.
Well, thank you. But no, so this might sound funny. I got her salad. We got vegetables. I did like a thorough cleaning on them, like made a fresh salad. We haven't had fresh salad since all this started. Because we've been focusing on perishables. And then she was, we were both saying, what would be really good is like a taqueria style burrito. So I made burritos. I got delivered the largest tortillas I could. And then I even did it. I rolled it in foil and then put it on the Foreman to kind of give it that taqueria grilled burrito thing. So I made like very elaborate burritos for birthday.
You're making me so
I'm so hungry right now.
Oh my God. I want that right now.
Yeah, it was work. So I normally favor simple stuff, but I will say that during this isolation, I have been getting more into it with just experimenting and trying new things. And it was good, man. So I've been doing that. But let me tell you, pro tip for everyone: if you make the burritos at home yourself, seriously, roll it in foil, put it on like a Foreman, or just even put it on a frying pan for a minute. It will up your game. It will taste restaurant quality and not just be something you slop together yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. So we got some super chats. King Rail, $5 saying, Matt looks like he's drunk leaving a homecoming party and is desperate for a ride home sitting in the middle. That's a very elaborate scenario.
Drunk, leaving a homecoming party and is desperate for a ride
Oh,
home.
we're in the back seat.
Yeah, we're in the back
get
of the
it.
car. And you're like, how'd I get sit next to these two jabrones? I needed a ride.
Yes, that's what I just picked up on that part of it. These are my friends. How dare you, King Rail?
Matt's riding, bitch.
These would be my first round draft choices of who to hang out in the car with.
Well, especially the guy that can say the alphabet backwards. That'll get you out of some sticky situations. But I was thinking about this the other night. I don't miss waiting for a ride. Did you guys have that when you were teenagers? I always remember after wrestling practice, like having to wait for someone to come pick me up. I had a payphone.
Yes.
It was getting dark out. I was like, I don't miss that. Like, I love driving. I take that for granted so much. Wrestling enthusiast Buck99 saying must be hard to call spots in the ring at the moment. With no audience there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Good call.
What was all the bleeping tonight on AEW? There were like 3 times something was bleeped.
Well, friggin' Pineapple Pete, rightfully so. Jericho smacked him in the face, and you could tell he stopped, and Jericho told him to say this and do the, oh, hell no, I know you didn't do that, mother effer, or whatever he said. It was all bleeped out, and then smacked Jericho back. That's the one I caught. There was others, but then there's others where Jericho was able to say SHIT unbleeped. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a tape show. They'd already taped this one, so they had the luxury of being able to do planned cursing essentially and be able to edit it very, protect themselves, but still have the effect of the curse words happening with the bleep. So that's I call that too. There was several throughout the night.
They didn't bleep that SHIT.
Yeah.
Tonight when Nyla Rose dropped the B-bomb, I thought that sounded the best, least forced. Like the best version of that. I mean, WWE always sounds so forced in there when they have the women drop that promo. I love that tonight when she did that.
Because of how she says it. That's a great example of it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Yeah. And that's why that hit home. It's because I believe every word that she says.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I hate when I do speak to text on my phone and I curse that it censors me and it puts the asterisks. Like,
really?
Oh,
mine does. If I say the S word, F word, it puts.
You can take that off. You can take that off. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, so what I did, if you go into your custom keyboard on an iPhone, I literally have auto replace. I put in all the swear words and said replace them with the actual swear words. So that way, like, you literally just have to spell it out in your phone, and then you'll never send ducking by accident again.
He must be using some serious elaborate curse words, because it picks up all of the oldies but goodies just fine on mine. I didn't make any special commands for it. So you're using some real 5-star curse words there, Mr. LaBar.
Nothing worse than trying to make your point in a text and you're censored in text.
CJ $2 kick from Phoenix to Cassidy. Oh, Marone. You don't hear that anymore.
Wow, no, you don't.
Marone.
I don't think I ever have.
Oh, really?
Say it in a sentence.
Oh, well, it's an Italian thing. I don't want to be accused of appropriation on this.
Do you say Marone? Marone?
No. Okay, there's a Danny DeVito movie I absolutely love that most people have never seen. It's called The Ratings Game. It's where he rigs the TV ratings to he creates these terrible TV shows, and he uses his network of truckers to boost the ratings to give him the top rating shows on TV. But at the Italian wedding, it's like, oh, Marone. It's kind of like, that was terrible Italian.
I was hoping we could get this out of him, folks. That's what I was shooting for.
Yeah, I could have.
I failed you.
That's what I was remembered for.
In my gas up attempt to Glenn.
Yes. And I apologize to the Italian American community for massacring that right there.
I prefer to quote Raven. What a maroon.
Oh, he does say that, actually. Yeah, he did say that.
There, people are pointing out there.
There
we all match now. Well, Cook, we're coming from the big game. It's funny. $4.99. Someone using the handle Maxwell Friedman saying, Matt, to tell me to STFU and start talking about the only person who matters on Wednesday night, me. Jesus, someone really Maxwell Friedman taking that, that is fan play to a new extent to spend $4.99 to do that. What's with the people on Twitter that use wrestlers' photos?
Dude, do not get me started. Don't get me started. Please don't get me started.
I have a rule. You cannot tweet anything critical of me if you have a picture of another man or if you have no picture at all. If your picture is of some other wrestler and if your handle is John Cena 2020 69 420, or if your picture is of a damn Twitter egg, if I cannot identify you in public, you cannot talk shit on me. Not gonna happen.
I dated the girl briefly in the late 90s whose screen name on AOL had Triple H in her screen name. She was more into wrestling than I was. Really into Triple H.
A female be attracted to wrestling, I think, is pretty cool, though. Like, my wife liked wrestling. I dug that about her, actually.
Yeah. Especially in '99. I mean, you talk about Attitude Era. This is the time period where Triple H and DX got girls, flashing the camera, so you never know.
Yeah,
it's true. Kazarian X $10 saying AEW's women's division is getting better. In my opinion, they should sign some talented women out there, such as Ivelisse, Allison Kay, and Lufisto, to name a few. I thought the match tonight was really good.
I like two of those three. Allison Kay, in my opinion, she still got some more work to do. I'm not saying that to be overly critical of her. I like her. She still has a little bit more work to do of figuring out who she is out there. She always says the same taunt every single time. Go back and watch. She calls every opponent of hers, "Come on, baby girl. Come on, baby girl." Like she's Flo from Mel's Diner. Like she's
nothing wrong with that.
Like she's some 50-year-old person talking to like a 20-something-year-old rookie. Like she herself is young. I don't know. It's something that stands out to me. I know it's overly OCD of me, but the two of those three I agree with.
So I will pay $100 to a professional wrestler if you can work "Kiss My Grits" into a promo on national television.
Dude, let me tell you right now. If what's a t-shirt company? Pro Wrestling Tees was around back in the 80s. That shirt would have been fire. Yes, everyone would have bought it.
Dynamite would have been huge.
Dynamite, another one. Yes.
What you talking about?
What you talking about? Yeah.
Although my favorite, the underrated one, was "What's Happening" with the "Hey, hey, hey." Like that was always my favorite.
That wasn't underrated. That's huge. That's another. That deserves to be in the same conversation.
Yes. Man, I love what's happening.
Definitely.
Name and Earl Buck 99. Shout out to the people that watch the podcast rerun. That's people that are not live. Thank you for saying hi to the people watching this later. So let's get in and talk some wrestling tonight. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite first. Tonight, we had Jake Roberts with Lance Archer out in the ring, and a lot to unpack in this Jake promo. Some things I would generally disagree with, as Justin would say. He's just getting heat, bro. But most interesting, and Justin are talking about this off the air, given his revelations in Beyond the Mat, Jake Roberts, what does it for him now is Archer. That's what, gets him going.
What'd you say?
He basically said at the end that watching Archer hurt people is what sort of gets him going.
What's wrong with that?
In a Blue Chew sort of way.
Yeah, he made a mention about how he has a girl that comes to see him, and she knows how to get him going. It's to watch tape of Lance Archer. And, I always quote Vince McMahon from Beyond the Mat, and all I can think about is Jake and Beyond the Mat, where he's sitting there talking to the guy, and he's sitting in the hotel room smoking a cigarette, and he's talking about infidelity on the road, and he's like, it starts with one girl, then it's two girls, then it's two girls with toys, then it's two girls with toys, and they're using them on you. And then the stimulation's gone, brother, and that's bad.
How in the world do I not remember this? I've watched Beyond the Mat a million times. I bet you I fast forwarded during this because I really was a big mark.
Go back and watch.
Listen, for the WWE stuff, I was such a mark for Rock backstage, McFoley backstage. I was freaking out watching that. I thought that was the coolest footage. And the two indie talents. And the slimy indie promoter from Cali. But anyways, back to your point about I have no problem with this. This is just more crazy demented Jake the Snake Roberts promos. It should never make sense. It should, even if you go back and watch his old promos, if you really break them down, they don't make sense. Some of I would say most of them even. Go back and rewatch them.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It's all his tone, his facials, his body language, and more importantly, his tones. Let me ask you guys a quick question. Yeah. Last week, I forgot to bring it up. Did him wearing a mask into the ring throw anything off for you at all?
No, I mean, not really.
Me either.
No.
I just wanted, somebody said it to me on Twitter, and I forgot to bring that up. Sorry.
No. And joking aside, Jake's promo didn't hurt Lance Archer. I mean, it was a Jake promo, and I've
not at all. You weren't saying that.
No,
it helped him.
Absolutely, and I've marked out many times talking about how Jake's one of maybe my favorite promo ever. But I mean, it was, if you drill down and listen to some of the things he's saying, I mean, I did have some laugh out loud moments, all things considered. But yeah, no, this I mean, Jake's promos are always. I've never heard a bad Jake promo.
Nope. No, absolutely. So Brian Berry, thank you for the super chat. Brian saying Scarlett and Cross's promo was epic. We'll talk about that with NXT.
We'll get there.
Danny Cochran, $2 wants more cooking tips from Glenn Rubarito. I should just post more stuff on Twitter. I've been making some pretty good food lately, and happy to share some tips and ideas with people. So Cody drove his truck in to Jake into the arena. That was kind of nuts.
What? Why didn't you like this, Justin?
Well, here's my problem. Look, this is a tape show, so they have the luxury of doing whatever they got to do for pre-tape and edit stuff together. But they did Cody driving in as a live shot, meaning everything happened in real time. Cody's revving up his Ford. Looks cool, right? He's in the Ford. He's at the custom seats. He's revving it up. All I see is the truck. And then he puts it in drive and goes forward. And then they show us the camera angle of where he is in relation to the venue. He put it in drive and went 20 feet and just ran into a bunch of random shit. Like, this is not Steve Austin coming down the. I mean, like, again, I know when you do a
keep going, because when you're breaking it down like this, you're making me not like it.
When you do a look live, there to fans, when you do a look live, you're at the mercy of, okay, how far can a camera go? Because these cameras are all tethered on cables, and do we have is the continuity of the sun setting because we're in an outside venue? There's a lot of things with a look live outside that are difficult. So which again boggles my mind that if this is a taped show that was in the can, why they wouldn't have done something where we could show Cody getting off the interstate, taking the exit, coming down the street to deal. I mean, the Khans own this piece of property; they could shut down the whole thing. And it's not like there's a lot of people out anyways. like you could really have built up Cody driving, cutting in between Jake, Cody driving. Yeah, the drama of Cody's on his way. That's what worked with Austin.
Yes.
Austin's on his way. He's on his way, and Vince would keep running his mouth. And so Cody's revving up.
You took a cool moment from me, and now I don't like it anymore.
It just it hit
convinced me.
Yeah, it was just everything after that was kind of cool, but Cody driving 20 feet to run into some trash cans and barricades. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh my God, you're embarrassing me right now for thinking this was cool at first. I was gonna say I thought this was cool.
So what was cooler, Justin?
Fans, you shouldn't listen to me. Fans, you should no longer listen to me on what I think is cool at wrestling. I just jumped the shark tonight. It happened tonight.
Oh God.
So Justin, what was cooler, when Cody did this tonight, or when Eddie crashed into the front of the house in Family Matters?
Oh, when Eddie crashed in the front of the house in Family Matters is tremendous. And then Steve takes the rap for him. Oh, that's a great one. That's a great episode. Classic season 2 episode right there.
Yes.
That was such a great reference.
Man, Cody loves that American Nightmare logo. It's on the front of his truck. It's on his neck.
Loves it.
It's everywhere. So, of course, then he got out. They got into it. He and Archer got into it.
Okay, I gotta come clean.
Yeah.
All right, really quick. My Blueprint logo, essentially the Vitruvian Man, but much cooler. I had on my cars, I had a Hummer at the time back in the day, 2008, and I had it all over my seat headrests in the back where I had an Xbox of a 20-inch Vizio, which everyone at TNA, I just opened up the hatch and everyone would play like Madden on it.
Yeah.
But right there in front of them all was a huge Blueprint logo right there on the, like, really mark ass type of things. Now that I'm embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed right now. That
you glad you didn't get a big back tattoo piece of it just right across your back? You know?
Could have been what's next. I mean, you know what? I ended up selling it, though, to a fan out in Kentucky that was a fan and wanted all that, which was cool. I got very lucky.
Nice.
Because it was incredibly personalized, but that's some Mark-ish type of shit to do for what it's worth.
I mean, it's funny how far we've come, Matt. I mean, think about now this technology that we hold in our hands every day, these phones that can do everything. Right. I mean, you talk about having an Xbox in your truck. I mean, I remember having, before there were MP3 players, I put a computer, an actual like desktop computer, just the body in my car so I could play MP3s in my car. And I had like a numeric keypad to call up the song. But this was like a huge project. I probably spent like $1,000 doing this, just to hook it up. I mean, it's crazy to think about what we take for granted now with technology versus 20 years ago, what was futuristic, but took a lot of work.
Oh my God. Yeah. Even though back in the old days, when you had a box in your trunk.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember boxes?
The worst, I don't remember the CD changer where it's like, I got a 6 CD changer. I got 6 CDs in there, but I don't want to pull over to change them. So we're just going to listen to one of those 6 CDs.
Can I just come clean on one last thing on dorkdom back in my past? All right, one last thing. With a box in the back of my Dodge Spirit that my parents gave me. My family car, 4-door, maroon. So I tinted this family mobile up, trying to think it was really hooked up. And on my free period, on my every day at high school, I would drive around my school with my box playing, and like the bass would rattle the windows.
Yeah, playing like Master Ace, like Born to Roll.
Ace, yes. The first one, yes. I thought I couldn't have been any cooler. Any cooler. And I want to shrivel up in a hole right now and die. I am so embarrassed I just shared that. But in my head at the time, I thought, like, 95, this was real cool stuff. Oh my God, what a dork. I wonder if everyone's like, oh, what is this dork again? Why does he keep doing this?
It is weird how
this is like his 8th lap. This is his 9th
lap. He must be lost.
It is weird. It wasn't like car culture like Fast and Furious. It was like car stereo culture.
Yes.
It was really big in the early 90s.
Huge.
And I remember, dude, so get this. So I was writing about video games and technology at the time. And I remember somebody sent me like a home theater system to review, like an early one. And I remember my friends in his truck, we like figured, could we take the home theater subwoofer and wire that into the back of his truck? Because we didn't have a speaker box with anything. But I remember driving around with that, with like a home theater subwoofer blasting like in too deep,
I had a friend that had his family stereo speaker in his truck, but it worked. The bass was crazy. The treble was terrible, but the bass in it was pretty good. Back in the day, it's all that mattered. Meanwhile, the trunk would rattle and be all crappy sounding and whatnot.
Glenn,
yeah.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Glenn, do you remember the first Wayne's World movie when
Yes.
Wayne and Cassandra are riding in the car and she goes, "Hey, where'd you get the CD? Or when did you get the CD player?" He goes, "When we got the money." And he like puts in a Red Hot Chili Pepper CD, and he's like the biggest deal because he's riding around 1993 with a CD player.
Nelson saying my cassette adapter for my CD player was fire. I remember with the
I
cassette
had
adapter,
those, yeah.
and you had to like hold it on your lap, and then it would skip every freaking
Every time you hit a
moment.
pothole, it would skip.
Yeah.
The whole thing would go off.
I had that. Oh my god, I remember this now.
This is why we got to do the bonus podcast, guys. This is why it's got to happen, because here we are on Wednesday, and it's just like, oh, take me back with these memories. So much to talk about. So Cody, they got into it ahead of their match for the TNT title at Double or Nothing. Then we had Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt versus the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent with Orange Cassidy. This match, which for me, Phoenix just blindsiding Orange Cassidy. That's my standout moment of this match. The rest of it was just sort of there.
Yeah, 100%. The fan earlier said hit the nail on the head. That was nasty looking. Nasty.
Well, and then after that, after that shenanigans, we see they cut. They just barely missed it. Again, I don't know why. A tape show, but they just barely catch Wardlow slingshotting Marco Stunt, just murdering him into the guardrail. But answer me this: Wardlow slingshots Marco Stunt into the guardrail. Luchasaurus comes running around, and Luchasaurus just stops and stares at Wardlow as Wardlow backpedals. Luchasaurus is big, and Wardlow's my boy. But why is Luchasaurus not going after the heel? He just stopped. Like, why?
Because he backed away.
I don't know. Maybe, but
But I'll be honest. I watch a lot of Being the Elite, and on it they're having Luchasaurus going around town looking for his tail. It's ridiculous. It's not even funny at this point, and it hurts him. I know he's a Luchasaurus. He's wearing a mask. It's ridiculous to begin with, to a degree, but this is even more ridiculous. So no offense. Now when I see him, even though he's a good worker, he's athletic as crap.
Oh yeah.
To me, Wardlow would eat his shit for lunch. If I had to bet money on who could win in a fight by their appearance and how they keep to their character, dude, Wardlow would swallow him whole.
Yeah.
They got to be careful with him, because that dude, Luchasaurus, could be money. He gets great reactions. He's athletic as shit. There's got to be a way to tone it down with the dinosaur shit. There has to be a way.
Well, I was extra pissed off because like 3 minutes before this happened, I tweeted, Jurassic Express is really growing on me. Because at first I didn't understand the three of them. But like I'm starting to accept the dynamic of Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Marco. And then he does that. It makes me look bad. Pisses me off.
2 of the 3 of them I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would it take for Marco Stunt to win you over at this point, man?
It's not. They need to use him so much. That's all. There's no reason to use him so much. Use him like they used Spike Dudley. Spike was not on every single episode.
Yeah.
There's no reason to use him every episode. He wears his welcome out, and honestly, he has usefulness that others on that roster don't have. Quite frankly, why? It's the opposite of the same situation you have with a Giant, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. You don't put your Giant out there every week. It's what TNA did wrong with me to some degree, in my opinion. But I was getting paid, so I didn't say anything. I want to be on as many TVs as possible and get paid more. But in retrospect, the right way would have been less of me, or Big Giant, whoever your Giant is at the time. And same with Marco Stunt, I would argue. It takes his effectiveness away from the cool shit he can do. So when he does whip out a comeback out of left field, it now means something. We didn't just see the same thing last week. Or him just getting squashed out of nowhere, again, back-to-back weeks. Doesn't mean anything. I would save him. I really would.
Yeah. And with them wrestling in tonight, it feels like these guys haven't been showcased nearly as much in a while. Like them losing to Best Friends.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy, in my opinion, especially though.
Yeah.
So they lost. He's going to be a star. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. And his match versus MJF at Double or Nothing is going to be great.
Yes,
I just wish there was more story there. I feel like it seems kind of arbitrary that in 2 weeks these guys are just wrestling. Like, am I missing something? Yeah. Is there something on Being the Elite, or?
I'm not seeing it on Being the Elite, no.
Okay. So your Best Friends won that via pinfall. Wardlow launched onto the barricade. Luchasaurus chased him off. Then we had Penelope Ford versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida versus Chris Statlander.
This was good. The women's division is getting better. The guy was correct.
Yeah.
This was okay. This wasn't terrible. This is what it used to be.
Yeah, this was entertaining. I mean, there was some, there were parts of it that could have been tightened up, but I mean, when you have four people, the four ways are hard. There's a lot going on. It takes a lot of timing comes into play. Well, the biggest thing of the note here was, all right, so the winner is supposed to be number one contender for the women's title. Your women's champion is Nyla, so I'm expecting a face to win here. I'm expecting Statlander or Shida to win, which happens. But it was interesting to note that while Shida simultaneously is getting her victory, Britt, whether or not I agree with it or not, is not going in there to intervene. Britt is putting her finisher on Chris on the outside, doing that brutal, mandible claw thing. Right. So they made a point. They made a very conscious point to say, look, Shida's winning, but Britt Baker is not down. She's just inflicting punishment.
And she's our girl is the way I took that.
Yes, I did too.
Which, if I'm being honest, I have no problem with.
No.
I think she should be.
Yep. A face had to win this because your champion is heel. Right. But this, to me, Britt shined a lot out of this because they protected her.
This is how I've told you guys before. More than one person can get over in a match, even though only one person can win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great quote.
Nate Monroe saying the women just need more stories so we can define who they are.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it now. Britt Baker and Nyla Rose are the only two that have the same level of comfort and gravitas on display week in and week out like the men do.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. They're the only fully formed characters, it feels like right now in the women's division.
And to be fair, some of these women need to step the hell up.
Yeah.
You can't just wait for a story. It would be great to have a great story. It would. But if you don't have one, say what you will about Britt Baker. At the beginning, I didn't like her being a heel. I didn't think it fit. I still think she's an amazing babyface. I still do. But with that said, there'll be more bigger money in her becoming face one day down the road because of what a great heel job she's doing right now. But it wasn't easy for her at first. She worked for this, and she's improved during this. She doesn't strike me as the girl who just sits there and waits to be instructed on what to say and what to do without adding her own isms to everything. Some of these girls have got to start adding their own oomph and creativity to some of this stuff, especially in this company where I know they're welcoming it.
Yeah. So Hikaru Shida won that, and
honestly, you guys, she's my example. Actually, I think she's amazing at talent in the ring. She looks like $1 million, but something's still missing with her for me. She's not doing enough. I don't know what it is to stand out more. In my opinion, I think there's
Shida.
Yeah, to do a little bit more to be that main event star.
Yeah.
She looks great. She's great in the ring. Good Lord, she's great in the ring. But there's just something else with what the fan said earlier about that. Maybe it's the storyline, but don't wait for it. Start implementing things yourself in your matches that is character driven, that only you do. It's only a look that you give. It's only a move that maybe you do. I don't know what it is, but there's something you can do in between those moves. I know it's hard in a 4-way, but there's always a time in a lull in a match for you to get your shit in. Your shit not being a move, by the way. It is your body language.
Well, yeah. and again, just giving Britt one more bit of props here. And Britt and Nyla were the two. They were the two out of the gate that AEW wanted to. Those are like the only two that AEW was truly committing to, aside from Brandy, who
Kylie Ray, it seemed like.
Well, but then she, whatever happened there. So so to Britt's, Britt had an uphill battle because they envisioned Britt, you're going to come in, you're going to be our babyface, and then Nyla, you're going to be our heel, and that's what it is. And it just didn't connect that way. And I've said this to many people before, and I've said this on the show. Britt has never, ever, ever, ever been a heel until now on national TV. She's never had a chance to ever be heel. So that's what makes me that much more proud of her, is that she's finding all this. It's not like she says, okay, I can pull this heel line that I used in a promo from 2 years ago. She's never done it before. This is completely new territory, and it's finally clicking.
It's the hardest thing to do, and it's what I used to chastise WWE about when they brought me up to the main roster. I never had one single practice in OVW as a heel, not one repetition, even in a heat drill, not one. I was always a babyface.
No, why, Matt? Why why would a 6'10" guy? Why would they always? Why would they never prep you as a heel?
You take that up with Jimmy. I don't know, because at the time Jimmy was able to get me over as big white meat babyface. That did work for what it's worth. If you go back and watch my shit in OVW, it did work. But because it's easier to teach a babyface to sell, to stay down most of the match selling, right, and then listening to your heel who calls the match for you.
Yeah.
Generally, when people first start out, you do start back in the day. You used to start out as a babyface, so you could shut your mouth, sell, and then listen to the heel call your comeback for you out there. Today's a much different day and age, though.
Yeah,
it's not like that anymore.
Was it their idea to have you dye your hair to look more heelish, or was that yours?
That was mine. I thought I had to change my look up a little bit. I didn't know how to. That's the best I got.
Interesting. Seriously, when I watched that old stuff with you, you look older back then than you do now. Strangely. I don't know what it is.
Matt, can you recall in your days in, well, not just WWE, I guess in pro wrestling, when was like the first time, just a general year, that you started feeling comfortable and able to call matches, that you felt those okay?
My second time in OVW, like I stepped back down after Brock and Nathan Jones quit. So whenever that was.
Okay. So 05 or 04.
05.
04, 05, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. 04. I apologize. Yeah.
Then we had Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy versus Santana and Ortiz tonight.
This was good.
Yeah, Omega and Hardy winning via pinfall.
I thought this was good.
It's good. Just last week was so much fun. It was
fun. Not
as fun, but good. A good match.
It was. Kenny did a lot of annoying things last week with his isms, but this week a little bit less. I like tonight's match.
What do you think of this backstage promo with Taz and Darby Allin?
What, that Taz thinks everything's cool?
No, it was just like Taz trying to tell him that he could teach Darby if he'd listen, but then Darby talking about his own background, or talking about to Taz about backgrounds.
They did this with him and Joe. They try to do this with him and Joe at TNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't see it, because Taz was a friggin' human suplex machine, a guy that tapped people out. You know, Darby's not that type of wrestler. So I'm overanalyzing it, I'm sure. But anything to get Darby Allin on camera more, I'm cool with, honestly.
I didn't associate this so much with Taz and Darby as this is just the beginning of the commentary. I think alluded to it briefly after the interview. Is like Taz is on some kind of campaign to like offer his advice, and nobody's yet taken it. So I think I think we're waiting until Taz finds. I think it's kind of a Jake.
Somebody.
Yeah, it's like a Jake Roberts, Lance Archer. I think we're waiting to find Taz to find his protege that listens to him.
Then this works. Then okay.
Who'd you pair him up with? Who'd you pair him up with, Matt? Anyone on the AEW roster to have Taz be their mentor?
I don't know. Do they have anybody like that that's submitting people?
No, my thought of the worst person, but it could also be great, would be Marco Stunt. Like, that would just be comedy gold.
If this was WWE, they totally would make Taz do this, because they love pointing out how short Taz was instead of doing the opposite. This dude's a badass from Red Hook and will make anybody tap out. No matter. That's why they should have put him out there, and they screwed that up. Used to piss me off, because I love Taz in ECW.
Was he your year of Tough Enough, for the first year where it looked like Taz was legitimately going to kill one of the guys in the first drill?
Dude, my second season, I was scared of him too.
Yeah.
He was on our run. We had to run around this freaking Grand Canyon, run for like miles upon miles. And luckily, he was cool to me. He was sitting back of a pickup truck as I'm running, going, and he tested me. He's like, "Come on, big man." He's like, "Come on, big man, you lazy sack of bleep." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I can go harder. You're right. And I started to run as fast. I tried to just sprint until his truck got away from me.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, though, I don't know. I always dug that character. Honestly, that was a huge mark for him.
Yeah. No, I think there's something. Oh, that's interesting. James Riley is saying Joey and Taz would be a good combination. That would be interesting. Joey Janela.
Huh. That would be interesting.
Give him something to do. Yeah, give him something to do. So we had that Hikaru Shida promo backstage talking to Lexi about her upcoming about Hikaru Shida's upcoming title match. Shida said the thing that make her happiness is to win the title, and then Nyla Rose comes up, says she found something she's just been missing, and then hit her over the head with the kendo stick. I thought that was just a great unexpected moment to drop the B-bomb. I found your kendo stick. I thought this was great. This was fantastic.
Yes, 10 out of 10.
MJF with Wardlow versus Lee Johnson. MJF winning by submission. Very, very
good.
Easy.
About damn time. About time.
Yeah.
The dude needs to be on my TV every single week. He needs to be on.
Yeah. What do you think of the live promo he cut tonight?
Awesome. I thought it was good.
It's good. I think the taped ones were so different. Tonight just felt kind of like more of the same. Like I really like the fake injury ones he did.
But to be fair, there's another one that helps with having a legitimate crowd there. Yeah. Tonight, having the 12 fans there, this is where it sucked.
Yeah. I mean, MJF is he's a roaster stand-up comedian. He thrives off of hecklers in the crowd. So not having that
off the cuff too.
Yeah. So,
Chris Jericho versus Pineapple Pete Shug D tonight.
Dude, I'm just going to be honest, and I know I sound like Cornette here and others. I thought he gave him way too much.
Really?
Way too much. Dude, he sat there for like a minute before Pineapple Pete ran in those corner squisher spots on him. That's me being super over analytical, and it's freaking Chris Jericho. Like, Hall of Famer, first ballot, no-brainer, one of the greatest of all time. Right now, in my opinion, the most money wrestler we have in the business. If I'm being straight up, all around, he is. He's the best promo. His matches have been awesome. He helped upstart an entire company and make it legitimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to argue. So I hate saying that. Chris Jericho is a zillion times better wrestler than I ever was. So who might say that? But I got to be honest. I would not have given that guy that much. Well, that's why you didn't make anybody, Matt Morgan. Chris Jericho does make people. Touche. You'd be correct. Pineapple Pete, you can do it in a way in which Chris is not sitting in the corner, getting shot into the corner, which he's not strong enough to do to Chris to begin with. Secondly, Chris waiting for like a minute before Pineapple Pete finally runs into the corner, hits him with a back elbow or squisher, and then does it again, and he's waiting forever on him to come into it again. You could see what was coming here next. You could see the Judas effect was coming on the third one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know he's trying to help the young guy out and get another talent over, which you got to give kudos to. But, dude, you're Chris F. and Jericho, man. I don't know. It's the same problem I had with Kenny Omega doing the same thing.
Yeah, Matt, you're not wrong. Matt, you're totally correct. And I guess I was a little more accepting of it just because for the last week I've been waiting for it. Last week when they announced that we were going to have Chris Jericho versus Pineapple Pete on this week's show, and I know Pineapple Pete a little bit, Shug D, and Jericho called him out, in funny commentary when they were doing the shows in Georgia. I knew Jericho was going to give Pineapple Pete more than anybody would ever otherwise imagine. He was going to try to make this guy look as good as possible while still
he did.
Still be like, and he did. But everything you're saying in context is very correct. It was probably too much in the way that it went down.
And to be clear to the fans at home, sorry, Justin, go ahead.
No, you're right. No, I'm done. You're good.
Really quick, I just want to point out what I mean by not giving him too much. I'm not saying not give him too much. Like, he could have given him punches and kicks, and he could have sold those things. I'm saying to wait in the corner, go back and watch it, and watch how many seconds Chris was sitting there waiting. Go back to any wrestling match you've ever seen. How long do you think guys sit in the corner when their opponent charges at them before they take their face off with a boot, clothesline, elbow, something? And the fact that Chris had to sit there for 3 seconds, 4 seconds before the guy finally ran into him, like, if I was Pineapple Pete, I would have done it after the first one, and then that would be it. And I beg Chris, is there anything else I can do instead of this to help get maybe some more offense in here without overstepping my bounds here, sir? Maybe some punches and kicks, a couple of chops. You spin me around the corner, you go to chop me, I duck out of it, I kick you in the gut again. Now I shoot you in the corner. This time I don't wait 5 seconds. I run immediately and give you oh, my God. You know what I just realized? How incredibly racist is this move that I'm about to say right now? Back in the day, they used to call that a Jap clothesline.
Good Lord.
When you give a guy a corner and you follow him right up, right as he turns around into the buckle, you clothesline him, right? You trail him into the buckle as you shoot him off. JBL does, lots of big guys do it. Undertaker, Kane all do it. Instead of the squisher, you do the clothesline in the corner, but you're right behind him as you shoot him off. And when you call it to your opponent, that's what you'd call. As you're about to shoot him off or giving him kicks and boots and punches in the corner, as you're about to shoot him off, you put your arm into your mouth into your armpit if you have short hair like I do so people can't hear you talking. And say, watch the jab goes on. You know, think about where we are today. You can't say things like that. So I wonder what the talent today calls that. Maybe just clothesline in the corner. But I would be confused. If somebody said that to me and called that and said, all right, watch out for the clothesline in the corner, I would think, is he telling me to pop out of the corner, out of the buckle, and clothesline him? So I wonder what talent calls it now.
Matt, I don't know what they call what you just described, but based upon what I hear guys call general sequences today, I would think that if I was wrestling and somebody said, watch out for the clothesline in the corner, my thought would be hit the corner and then feed.
Pop
out to the middle of the ring.
And either eat a clothesline or worse, which is if you're kick and punch him in the corner, you pick him up to go shoot him into the opposite corner, and you say clothesline, well, shit, am I giving it or taking it?
Yeah,
interesting.
Fair.
It shows. But back to what I said earlier, that it shows you where we're at today in society, though. And I guarantee you they have a different name for the clothesline in the corner now. I guarantee it.
I mean, were they just saying that like short for Japanese clothesline, like German suplex?
Yes.
Okay, so there was nothing inherently like charged in the language.
To my understanding, it was a move that was not made was commonplace in Japanese style pro wrestling.
Got it.
In fact, that's where I personally learned it, actually.
So more
when I went to New Japan.
More just colloquial name like Canadian Destroyer versus insulting like Canadian Tuxedo.
I don't even know what that is.
Canadian Tuxedo, denim on denim, like all denim.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I swear to God, and I learned it in New Japan actually, and it was dude, I had a Tokyo Dome match. I can't believe I never talked about this with Yuji Nagata, and he called that for me in a match actually. And I remember after that, going, "What is? I don't know what that is."
Wow. So Will the Professor, $5 super chat, wants to know, what does AEW's WrestleMania caliber card look like? Who wins the title matches? WWE or SummerSlam cards of winners. Tim Mickles needs Blue Chew. Saying, well, I think the card, Double or Nothing and All In or All Out are sort of their
AEW. Sorry.
Yeah, like their caliber. I mean, I think probably just I think it's the obvious talent, right? I mean, at this point, you look at Jericho, Moxley, Matt Hardy. I mean, Cody. Like, it's very easy to put together a Mania style card with these guys.
Oh my God, MJF, Kenny Omega. Adam Page, the Young Bucks. I pray, get there sooner versus later, the Revolt. I don't know, man. I think they got plenty of talent on that roster, though, for what it's worth.
Well, and also what Will the Professor has to understand, when you talk about a WrestleMania caliber card look like, WrestleMania cards are half of the equation is, okay, are the talents established, but the other half of it is what's the story? Like, it's getting to that point. So, like, you know, Wardlow's coming out in his own a little bit, and then you have Matt Hardy now here. So what's a new thing we can see? You know, we've seen Matt Hardy versus Chris Jericho for the last 20 years. What's something new Matt Hardy could do? It's all about the positioning of what you can do. That's what makes WrestleMania is you get to see these first time ever epic battles.
Well, and to be fair, WrestleMania itself is its own entity, like we talked about the other night on here, that it's not what it used to be in that one main event match that you'd pay $50 gladly to pay the whole pay-per-view to go watch Rock versus Hogan, etc., etc. We don't have that anymore.
No.
It's its own brand. It's its own entity. You watch WrestleMania because of the festivities of it, the sizzle of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really have those main event style matches that draw you to it anymore. So anybody that's on WrestleMania really doesn't matter anymore, in my opinion.
Well, and like if you talk to people who have been recent, writers or producers in the WWE in the last 5-6 years, if you're in WrestleMania, there's such a thing as being the WrestleMania main event when you're the last match, but you're still considered a semi-main if you're the first match, because oftentimes the first match in Mania is one of the top biggest billings. That's just the way they bill it. So the formula is just says it. Now they build WrestleMania over 5 hours. Well, when they don't have empty arenas, they have all these different checkpoint matches as you go.
So after Jericho won this match, the Inner Circle joined him in the ring, and Jericho challenged the Elite to a stadium stampede match inside of a football stadium at Double or Nothing.
Bet my house it's going to be awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Jericho goes ahead and asks, what's the gimmick's name? The thing that flies around?
Vanguard 1.
Vanguard 1. Have you made up your decision yet? Are you going to join the Elite? Well, guess what? We sent the invitation, took a baseball bat, introduced him as the new 6th member of the Elite. The Inner Circle.
Yeah,
Floyd, and beat the holy hell out of the Vanguard 1. Again, Jim Cornette's probably going to have 5 hours worth of podcasting on this segment alone this week, folks, for sure. But nonetheless, I thought it was funny. Matt Hardy came out in the ring very disheveled, but also very sad, right? His buddy just died, essentially, is how he sold it. But listen, get rid of all that crap. The nuts and bolts of this segment, which I really did like, is the announcement of this new match, this Stadium Stampede match, because it's going to be awesome. I will guarantee it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. They're going to do it at the Jaguars field. It's going to be fun. And Matt with Vanguard 1 crying over Vanguard 1 being destroyed. Glenn, it was like Blank Man, sad when J5 blew up. Do you remember Blank Man?
You're the only person that remembers Blank Man, Justin.
Blank Man?
The Damon Wayans film, yes.
Damon Wayans, Blank Man.
It's more of a Robert Townsend Meteor Man film fan myself. That had another bad creation in it as his little henchman.
What happened to Robert Townsend? Dude, there was a while, like, I used to watch a stand-up. He was hot at one time.
Yeah, Hollywood Shuffle was my jam as a kid. That movie is so freaking funny. Robert Townsend and his partners in crime on HBO, all those comedy specials. He was like in Living Color before In Living Color.
Yes, he was, and he was hilarious. My dad, my brothers thought he was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Robert Townsend.
And also, Glenn, in Blank Man, the love interest was played by a certain lady who goes on to marry Mike Tyson. Segue Mike Tyson, AEW.
Oh, yeah. Mike Tyson is going to present the title, the TNT title.
Wait, how did I miss this?
You
just announced it.
Mike Tyson? I'm Mike Tyson.
He's going to be at Double or Nothing. He is going to present the new TNT title that Cody and Lance are fighting over. This is coming off of Mike. Now, Matt, did you see this? Did you see Tyson's video this week? So this is huge timing. What if? Now look, Mike Tyson helped turn the tide in '98 when he was part of.
Dare say it?
No. I'm just saying. There's context. He was a big part of WWE. But if Mike Tyson wants to get back in the boxing game, and Holyfield even said that he would do a fight for charity against Tyson.
No, Evander, do not.
What if Tony Khan and AEW helped co-promote, and it was done at a Jacksonville venue under AEW's banner?
I would be terrified for both men's health, honestly, especially Holyfield. Honestly, Holyfield's in rough shape, man. Listen to him talk. I hate saying that. He's one of my favorites. But Tyson looks like he could still friggin' kill people.
Yeah, wasn't there the video going around a week or two ago of him training?
This week, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, crazy training, and then he looks at the camera and he goes, "I'm back," and he is moving lightning speed.
He did look friggin' awesome for what it's worth, and I just think that's amazing. AEW is having him do this. This is huge. I do agree it's huge. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Tyson, I'll tell you, it seems like in recent years, and he's even credited like therapy and his meds and where his head's at now, Tyson without his problems and baggage or negative influences, Tyson, I mean, his run really hit a brick wall due to a variety of reasons.
Was one of our most beloved American celebrities of all time that I would argue has been given 55,001 chances, and I think would be given 55,002 because America wants this story to end positively finally for this guy.
Yeah,
because we've seen it all. It goes back to when we were kids and on that couch with him and Robin Givens just completely humiliating him. If you go back and watch that again, go back and watch it.
Well,
She
and
was
we learned.
humiliating him.
Yeah, I mean, Hulk Hogan was the headliner for pro wrestling in the pay-per-view era coming to age. Mike Tyson was the Hulk Hogan for boxing of pay-per-view. I mean,
But I'm talking about the emotional part of the Mike Tyson story, of all the trials and tribulations he's gone through, mentally and emotionally.
We learned recently she was cheating on him with Brad Pitt, who she met on the set of Head of the Class when he guest starred.
Well, I mean, Mike Tyson, Brad Pitt, right? Really?
You know, they're rebooting Head of the Class. I saw that in my news feed the other day.
I used to love that show. You like Simone, I bet. I bet you Glenn liked Simone.
I told you I liked Simone. I said when I was a kid, I thought Simone was had such a huge crush on her.
Maybe that was in my head then, and I cheated. Sorry.
Yeah.
I pop every time I watch the first Hangover, and they come back to their suite, and Tyson's sitting there playing the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," and then he knocks out Alan. I don't know. Tyson's.
Anyways, this is great for AEW, you guys.
Yeah, it could be really
big. Huge news. Huge.
So we got this request here. Kyle McCloney just wants to know if he can get a shout out for his beautiful girlfriend Shannon. He's going to ask her to marry him and would love for her to see this after the proposal. Kyle, Shannon, mazel tov.
Kyle, why don't you step your game up and have us do it for you? We'll take all the work over for you. Therefore, if there's any rejection here, we're the ones that get rejected. You don't. You're like, listen, lady, I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't even ask. These clowns did.
That's true.
Hey, Shannon, congratulations. Kyle, right? Kyle, congratulations. Yes. Your life will never be the same. It'll be 1,000 times better. And wait till you get even a few more steps further. And hopefully one day parenthood, it'll even change again for the better. So congratulations. That's awesome. Let us know if you need our addresses, because I know we're going to be invited, of course, to your wedding.
Oh, it's true. I'm not even, my brother might be getting married this fall, like my youngest brother. I'm trying to convince him to move it. I don't even want to go to a wedding this year. I'm like, push it back a year. I did
it with my own cousin. I was supposed to officiate his. I went and got my license online and everything. Yeah. And I was going to officiate it. It was supposed to be in July. I'm like, dude, you can't, you know why you can't do this.
Yeah, like you just can't do this now.
You know?
I was supposed to,
thank God.
I was supposed to be this week. This week is 10
years. Annie lives in Connecticut. Hold on. Annie lives in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No.
This week is 10 years to the week that I have been with my wife. We were dating. We haven't been married for 10 years, but we were supposed to be in Aruba this week on the beach. This week we're supposed to be in Aruba.
Same thing, by the way. Nobody cares about Aruba. Listen,
I care about Aruba, man.
I'm being a jerk because I'm accidentally talking over you. Listen, I do the same thing though, Justin. Me and my wife, we have been married for like 15, but we've lived together, like no joke, for 21 years.
Wow.
It's my freshman year in college.
Wow.
22 years.
Wait, so she was there for the Hogan figure? She was there for the Hogan figure?
Oh, brother, she's definitely been there. Yes.
That's some ride or die shit, Matt. You got a good one.
It is. No, the real ride or die stuff is once your festivities are over with and you subject her to reruns of me videotaped in Nitro that we already watched earlier in the evening. And it's like 2 a.m. We just came back from going out and we're watching it again.
Can I tell you
tonight
while we ate dinner with the 2 kids, my oldest daughter, she's getting into Family Matters. She does her own Steve Urkel voice, and we watched in silence my favorite Family Matters episode ever. My wife knew I've talked about it for years. She finally saw it. That's the kind of bonding after 10 years is dinner, watch the favorite Family Matters epispisode.
I am more impressed by the daughter. That's good stuff.
My daughter,
good things.
My daughter Libby, she's 5 years old. She has a great imagination. She loves to play pretend. She likes to reenact whatever we watch on Disney Junior. Now she loves to play a game called Steve and Carl, where I'm Carl Winslow and she's Steve Urkel, and we reenact the shenanigans they have on film.
You want to give us a taste of your Carl Winslow voice, Justin?
Yeah, I don't even try to. She does a Steve Urkel. She gets herself nasally. It's hilarious.
How do you do Carl Winslow?
I'm just generic. I'm like, all right, Steve, get out of the house. I'm just generic.
Oh, you gotta work on that, dude. Up your game. Come on.
Didn't Eddie always strike you guys as a dude who looked like he should be like a linebacker in the NFL?
Yes.
Like, dude, he looked jacked to me when I was a little kid. I don't know why. He was huge.
He was in The Leftovers. Like in season 2, he showed up as like a reverend in The Leftovers.
Leftovers is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he was really good in that. I was very impressed with his performance. Will the Professor, $5 super chat. WWE and AEW mid-card tier. Who would be the world champ within a year? Within a year?
I hate those questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Humor the man.
Otis has the Money in the Bank.
Okay, he technically has the best seats to get there at the moment, but we can't call MJF mid-tier, right?
No. Darby, though, I can see Darby.
We're saying world champ here. Darby
mid-tier card.
I took it as mid-card.
Oh, who in the mid-tier now could be up there?
Right. That's why his Otis calls it a decent one.
MJF is kind of mid-card, though, on AEW.
Then MJF.
WWE World Champion. I don't know. I wouldn't have predicted Drew last year, so I think anything's possible.
Jinder again? I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the Professor, what's up with that photo? Did you fancy yourself a ring announcer? I have a feeling.
Nate Monroe, Buck99. Do you think Dark Order has gotten better without Uno? Where is Uno? He's on Twitter.
He is on Twitter. You're correct. Nate Monroe, I'll answer that. I'll say yes. The only reason I'm saying yes, because unfortunately, Uno would make him kind of corny with his voice, his fake voice, and whatnot. You can still make the argument that the little Dominions are annoying and whatnot, but for vignettes and promos, they are hilarious and they're awesome fodder for what's his name to clown and do his Vince's on.
Well, here's what doesn't make sense with Uno. For the longest time, Uno came off as he was the leader. He was in charge of the cult. But he kept calling for this Exalted One. Well, since Brody Lee is the Exalted One has showed up, they have not done the vignettes or anything to tell us that Uno is Brody's trusted lieutenant. Uno is just
that.
But maybe part of it's because of the time. Maybe Uno's not with them because of the
they said that tonight. I believe they said that tonight according to
then that's our answer. Okay, then that's our answer.
So it's kind of fallen out of favor.
You KM94, dude. We even have to talk about it. Uno, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but let me say this though. I think for Uno, I'm not. Again, I don't want him to put his health at risk. But all things being equal, I think Uno will be hurt by not being there. Not because he will be punished, but because people will be like, you know what, this works without this guy. We got Brody.
Yes,
we can put any schlub in a minion mask.
Listen, welcome to the world of being a pro wrestler. That's exactly why, even when we get injured, why guys, I'm not trying to draw parallels of why an addict acts like an addict and takes painkillers so they can perform and not lose their spot, brother. But that's a big part of this, of why guys get hurt and don't want to miss any time because you'll be scared of losing your spot. This is a good example. I'm not saying he's injured right now, but I agree. He is being hurt the most, I think, right now by not being able to be there.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, I think, they say that, Matt, you've heard this variations in this, 90% of it's just showing up. But I think in his case, dude, really, I would worry. And I understand if there's other circumstances or things there, but I think that don't let them see that the gimmick is working without him.
Why? Okay, so real quick, why not have him be doing vignettes though? Why can't he be doing them at home?
That's true. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he edits. If I were, that's what I would do if I were him. Is hey, look at all these videos I put together. You guys can put on TV,
dude.
Do something.
Yes, go out swinging, brother. Yes.
And we're going to talk about Sami Zayn and what's going on with him and the IC title in WWE.
Yes.
But it's kind of the same thing. I think Sami, and I understand Sami taking a principled, health conscious stand, but it's I think right now that things are opening back up. You Matt, and that's kind of the cold hard reality of it. You could say all day long until you're blue in the face, no one's going to be penalized for skipping because of health concerns. But unless you're Roman Reigns or Becky Lynch, I don't know that it's going to do you any favors.
The show will always move on, and I'll argue even Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns as well. They are spokes as well in the wheel. They're just slightly bigger spokes, but especially nowadays in WWE, everybody, in my opinion, is replaceable, and they've created it that way on purpose. I told you, the last of a dying breed was John Cena. We'll never, in my opinion, see a star get to that level individually ever again.
So we had Christopher Daniels versus Brody Lee in the main event tonight, with Brody Lee winning via pinfall. Brody was out there with 10, one of the creepers from the Dark Order. And then Moxley came out, faced off with him. And this is ahead of their match. So Brody Lee still has the title, and they're going to face off at Double or Nothing.
I'll tell you more and more the way I watch how this is going with like how they booked tonight and Brody, having the title, being the self-proclaimed champion. I mean, I think Mox is going to beat Brody. I think he's going to flat out beat him 1, 2, 3, which, it's not going to kill. I don't know if it's going to kill him. Yeah, but it's not what you'd expect for Brody's first pay-per-view match. I'll put it that way.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
So that was
11:30. Let's go.
That was Dynamite tonight. Let's talk about NXT. Opened with the NXT Tag Team title match, Imperium versus Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Imperium, Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner picking up the win. Now, during this, Thatcher and Riddle came apart.
Great. I don't care about this story at all. I really don't. It's not because it's 11:30 and we're just getting the NXT right now, folks. There's nothing to do with this at all. I hate everybody's name involved in this match. Sans
Matt Riddle.
What's his name? Matt Riddle. Yeah. So I'll point that out. Stupidest wrestling names ever. All three of them. Are you gonna buy a Thatcher t-shirt? Look out, it's Thatcher.
Well, when you say it like that.
Look out. I mean, people can say it about my name, too, to be fair. I hate my name. I never wanted to use my name. I'd rather have been the masked frigging marauder than Matt Morgan because we all think our names suck in real life. Just like I'll tell you another thing that you guys probably haven't thought about or have thought about in your past. All of our voices suck. We all hate our own voices when we hear our voices. That's a real thing.
Yeah. I think I've gotten a little used to it now. I've gotten used to hearing my own voice. It's not a shock anymore. The first time you hear the first 100 times you hear it, it's a shock.
Mine is the worst. Does not match my body. I should have like a big booming Undertaker deep voice, and I don't.
I understand. I know your pain. People used to think I was a woman on the phone up until the time I was probably about
19. Glenn. Oh, Lord. Glenn, you literally... Folks, you hear that saying? The Road Warriors used to say, line them up and we'll knock them down. Glenn will has the same saying when it comes to custom memes that he literally gives you all every episode here, folks.
I do this for the fans. I do this for the fans, man.
There's a meme in this. I'm just predicting it.
Anyhow, so after this win, Timothy Thatcher is tired of Matt Riddle's comedy and games over the past few weeks. He wants to be the champion, but not what that hot mess Riddle is. Riddle approaches, says, "What happened out there?" They shove each other and start brawling. But then,
listen, Thatcher, nobody's ever heard of you until Matt Riddle, for whatever reason, chose you to be a partner. You need to slow your roll. Thank God he let you be his partner and ride his coattails and shut your mouth. There you go.
Yes. So Tegan Knox versus Indy Hartwell.
There we go.
This was good.
What'd you think of Hartwell?
Thought she was good. I thought there was some good back and forth. I thought Tegan Knox looked great.
Always looks great.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, high point of my night. NXT women are always a high point.
I can't believe I'm saying. Actually, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Tegan Knox has broke my top 5 favorite female wrestlers.
Yeah, even like her music has really grown on me. Like I think she's really, really good.
And we talk about giving offense and how much you give somebody. They gave Indy enough to let you know that she's somebody that they're going to get. That she's somebody to watch out for.
And it made sense to me. It wasn't too much. It wasn't overkill. Yeah. And Tegan still, obviously, she's a stud. She's such a stud athlete and just performer. In my opinion, main eventer too. I think she's the real deal.
But by comparison, this Rhea Ripley backstage promo, I mean, okay, she's going to face Io Shirai. What have they done to Rhea? She was so great, and I just feel like this is just kind of...
I don't know if this is... Okay, here's my philosophy on this one. Way too big of a word to use on this. But here's my opinion on this. I think with Rhea Ripley, dude, we loved her so much, and we loved her really so much. Like when her like where Tegan Knox is right now, is what I feel like I was with Ripley for the longest, right? All of us, I think, were. And she was on this nice crescendo where it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And unfortunately, I feel like we saw some things with her that they should never have let us see with her, meaning they put her in predicaments that we can't ever unsee again. Her being a little chasing Charlotte Flair around, begging for her to challenge her for her title. Do you know what I mean? They took the badass part of her a little bit from me away, and I can't unsee it. I want to unsee it because I love Rhea Ripley. I think she looks like $1,000,000. She screams main eventer. Her look is different. Her work is great. She's athletic and she's strong as hell. And she has muscle on muscle, dude. She's just a super stud athlete. She is. All right. But I think there's some things, and they used to say this about me and other big guys. The problem with big guys that are green is if you see us do something that just looks terrible, it's hard for fans to unsee that again. And then you're screwed. It's why they take big guys along very slowly in their development, because everything we do sticks out more. With Rhea Ripley, because she's so impressive looking, I can't unsee her going around begging Charlotte Flair every damn week on damn Raw. Saying, hey, I think you should, you know what I mean? And for me, it killed it. So now I'm over analytical and over promos, and I'm finding myself being way too over analytical with her, unlike what I used to be, which was just like, she's the shit. All hail Rhea Ripley, you know?
I just feel 5 weeks in, has Charlotte being on NXT improved NXT's women's division? I would argue that it's at least at the same level or even a little lesser than it was before WrestleMania.
Really, though, if you want to, okay. But what they did to Rhea Ripley is what the company did to Rhea Ripley. Charlotte didn't do that.
No, I know. I'm not blaming Charlotte.
I'm not blaming Charlotte. So hear me out. If you were to tell me 6 months ago that we had a women's roster with Charlotte Flair as your champion, Rhea Ripley right under there, Sarai right underneath there, Tegan Knox right underneath there, and more. There's like 2 or 3 others I'm leaving out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, holy bleep, wait, what? That's the best women's division in wrestling history, potentially.
I agree. But what they should be doing, Charlotte still feels like a guest star, not a member of the locker room. And what I mean by that is, why isn't she like forming her own stable or taking someone that she's trying to like groom as a successor and get some of the rub there? You know, why doesn't she have a faction or something? It feels like she's just showing up and then leaving.
You don't think that what's her name got a mega rub out of that, even though she lost?
With Mia Yim or Io Shirai?
Yim.
Yeah, I think Mia was a badass still before. I mean, I don't think it hurt. I don't think it elevated her necessarily. It certainly didn't hurt her. You don't think it
elevated her, that great match she had with her?
I think Mia could use a really good feud with a very decisive victory. I think that's what Mia needs right now.
She does, and she's somebody who needs to be in that conversation that I just said earlier.
Yeah.
I would argue she's a half a tier down.
Yeah.
From the other girls I just said, Knox and Ripley.
Actually, what if Charlotte, because she respects Mia, what if Charlotte like grooms Mia to like be her successor, and then we get Mia versus Rhea, because those two could have like an all-time epic women's match and feud.
I would totally love that. Again,
Mia goes full heel.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, just something.
I just think that Charlotte Flair gets people to stay on the channel, though, too. Don't we think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without knowing the quarter by quarter numbers of when Charlotte's on, is she increasing them or whatever? I think that's the idea behind it. Hindsight 2020. Matt, you're right. Rhea building a Mania saying, challenge me. The NXT title is just as legit as anything else.
And she should not have lost it, by the way, either.
Exactly. So that's the thing, is that then you look back at that match. It was a very good match. It was a very Ric Flair match in terms of the focus on a body part, and there was just a lot of
trash talking from Charlotte was amazing.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Should have lost that match though.
Exactly. There's a lot of Flairisms, and if Rhea would have overcame that would have and so now we look at hindsight, now that we're 6 weeks removed from Mania. It did not do Rhea the favors that should have been done.
I can't unsee her on the ground selling her knee like that in tears either.
Correct.
She was a badass to me. She was bulletproof to me.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah, they got to do something. So I mean, we'll see. So it looks like Rhea's going to get built back up. She'll face Io Shirai. She'll probably defeat her and then get a rematch with Charlotte. And maybe at this takeover in your house, which they announced tonight, which we'll talk about in a minute.
At Ryder Park in Longwood.
Yeah. Maybe that's Rhea's. I mean, maybe they bounce it back to her this quick, especially with Becky not on Raw.
Good.
I could absolutely see them putting Charlotte back on Raw.
Fine.
Well, the only thing
other way around.
Yeah.
Other way around, maybe.
Yeah, Rhea versus Asuka, dude, right there.
Bro, that's how you make her back. That's how you do it. You have her beat the most legitimate female competitor there is, because I'm sorry, Asuka is legit badass.
Yeah.
The only other thing, not to be the bearer of bad news, the only other thing that worries me, the only thing that worries me is that like maybe Rhea being in a WrestleMania match against Charlotte, I think she did fine. She should have won, as we talked about. That's when you have Vince looking at you the closest, unless something that Vince saw did not impress him to where he goes, next. I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think about is that like Vince does not watch every NXT match. So obviously Mania is Vince's baby. So unless he saw something that just didn't click with his mind, I don't know.
Yeah. What was next?
Mario Chris 499 saying MVP stable, Cedric, Ricochet, Apollo, Lashley versus Undisputed Era could be great. So many great storylines. Also would help get the stable over.
Okay.
I'd be shocked if they did that with NXT, but we'll talk about Undisputed Era in a minute. Justin Lopez, $5 saying, I thought the Rhea we saw that Survivor Series weekend till December when she won the title could have filled the void on Raw that Becky left. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. Sorry, Glenn Lipkin, $9.99 saying, sorry, this is off topic. See, at least he apologizes. We don't even apologize when we go off topic. Saying, I just watched the show. Still don't understand how Cody is fighting for a title when he said, if I lose, I can never fight for an AEW title match. Have they addressed?
AEW World Title.
He said world title. He definitely said, yeah.
This TNT title wasn't even in existence when he made it.
Got him on
he ain't going to win it anyway.
Exactly.
He ain't winning it anyway. Don't worry.
Archer's going to win it, and and Jake Roberts, it's going to be like he took his Blue Chew. It's going to be incredible.
And Cody's going to drive his truck 30 feet to get to the ring.
The interim for the next match.
NXT Cruiserweight title tournament tonight. Tony Nese versus Jake Atlas. I like to see Jake Atlas get a win here. Did the Rainbow DDT again for the win. That cartwheel was great. I'm just waiting for Maverick, man. I just want to see what's going to happen with Drake Maverick and all this.
How terrible. Come on. Are we just going to ignore that name, though? Jake Atlas?
What?
Do you think that's another zinger? Do you think that's another?
That's his name.
Main event name?
Is that actually his name?
That's what he's from your part of the world, Glenn.
I've seen him. I saw him. He came up with Jungle Boy. I've seen him a couple times at indie shows around here.
I don't know. There's got to be more creative with these names. Again, it doesn't pass my name test, but nobody's name does. I don't even pass.
Let's be honest. Nothing matters in this cruiserweight thing except watching what Drake Maverick's results are.
Yeah.
Fine, you're correct.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's going to fight Kushida next week, and he's going to beat Kushida, and then he's going to be 2-1, and he'll be tied for first in his group. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah, but Jake Atlas is looking good for this being his sort of.
He is good.
Debut with NXT, his first big run. Oh man, this was the problem. This Undisputed Era Zoom video call. I just kept thinking of the Inner Circle. This just seemed like a poor ripoff of that.
It did. That's exactly what I thought. I swear to God, that's what I thought.
I thought the same, and it's whoever gets to the dance first gets to claim and gets to name it. But I at least like the fact they tried to do something.
Sure.
I'd rather them try, and it wasn't like they did. It wasn't the same theme of the Brady Bunch or whatever. But yeah, it was the same.
Did they try though? Did they try? I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think they really tried.
Fences, and if they swing and miss, I'm always okay with that. I don't think they tried.
No, they bunted. This was lazy.
We all do. I did like 3 Zooms myself today. Everybody does Zoom. That's nothing special about that. Oh, but it's in wrestling. No.
Well, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it was not. It was not as entertaining as any of the Inner Circle's bubbly bunch. But I'm just saying. At this point, if next week in NXT, if we saw 25 random fans who got COVID tested, got to be spaced out and make a little bit of noise, I'm not going to say, oh, they're stealing from AEW. I'm going to say, yes, they tried, made it happen, and they gave us some fan noise. That's where I'm at.
I'm not going to say they tried at this long in a game before they put 5 fans, 10 fans in there. That's not trying. I mean, come on. Trying is when the stuff they do with Bray Wyatt, Boneyard, go way out of way out of bounds here and be creative. This is the juggernaut. This is WWE. This is the New York Yankees of wrestling. The creative geniuses they have in this company, they have tons of them. I'm sorry, Zoom doesn't do it for me, brother.
And especially given now that every late night talk show is Zoom, SNL has done so many Zoom sketches from their at-home editions. The Bubbly Bunch happened. Like, I feel that if they'd done this 6 weeks ago, it would have been relevant.
It would have been perfect. Yes, that's the word, relevant. I was going to say trendy, but that wasn't really trendy.
But no, to your point, Matt, they should have taken a big swing. They should have done something that was a little more entertaining, because this was just kind of lame.
Yep.
We had the vignette for Karrion Kross in Scarlet tonight, and fan favorite music during this. What was that, from Armageddon?
Not just Armageddon. So here's some dorky fun fact. This music, it's on one of the WWE Anthology soundtrack series where they put out the theme music. They used it for the December pay-per-views of Armageddon. What I get the chills on my arms. This music of "The End Is Near." This was the famous music, and you can go on YouTube and find a 30-second clip of this, when Vince McMahon had to poison his own creation and brought in the NWO to WWE. There was a beautifully produced 30-second video flashing Hall, Nash, and Hogan, flashing all this imagery of Armageddon terrorism.
Yes.
And that song. This song has not been used in probably 17 years by WWE, and the fact they used it for Cross and Scarlet, and given the debut impact they had last week, this was great. This was a very appropriate song. I popped huge for this.
This is how you get talent over. This is how you smash people over the head with talent right here. Big old friggin' hammer. Here you go, fans. These are the next stars in our company. That's how you do it.
Right. Like, what's that say? The last time you used this music you owned was when you introduced the NWO into your promotion.
I don't think they expected every fan at home to have the mental erection that you speak of right now. Talking about it that way. But I dig your point, though, in making note of how important it is and how old since it's been since they've used it. And most importantly, again, it smashes you over the head with, you need to pay attention to these two. And thank God, because I'll be honest, I was nervous of how they were going to, with his name, of what they were going to do with him. I'm like, dude, he looks jacked. He looks so much different than everyone else on that roster. You cannot just make him another guy. I hope they don't. They're playing, I don't know.
Hashtag pot committed, hashtag mental erection.
Dude, they are pot committed to him. Yes, definitely. They need to be.
Anthony called Calls. Buck99 just says Drake rides Power Wheels crashing in tiny trash can. Like,
what?
Well, if that was a video, I would watch that.
He can get it over. That kid can get over anything. Anything. Literally.
We were watching an old episode of Just Shoot Me the other night, and when I saw David Spade back in the 90s, man, that's Drake Maverick in a nutshell.
It is.
Very similar to his main roster gimmick. Yes. So after this vignette, we had a vignette on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota's great. This is I love this promo. I thought
one.
That's one thing they've got so much.
I think she's like 7. She's like 7 on my list. She might be 8, which is ridiculous because she's another stud.
Yeah.
They're just so damn stacked. God, they're stacked.
So we did see DX in the production area. Triple H, William Regal was not there, so we saw Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Road Dogg were there announcing the 25th anniversary of WWE In Your House, and they're going to do NXT TakeOver In Your House Sunday, June 7th on the WWE Network.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
And this is a fun, creative thing for them to do, to try to, anchor a gimmick to TakeOver while we're in these uncertain times. Tomorrow, May 14th, 1995 was the first ever In Your House. So it's kind of fun that timely wise they're doing it almost exactly on an anniversary of when In Your House, which became the B level shows behind the big four. It's pretty cool just date wise, but this is fun. I hope, as we joked about earlier, I hope they can get the set, get In Your House set.
They will.
Put the NXT spin on this.
They will.
Yeah, this is fun.
So we had Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. Pretty good match, but were you shocked that Balor lost and Damian Priest revealing himself, attacking Balor after?
No, I wasn't surprised by this. This is good use of Finn Balor. No offense to him. Him being an NXT champion or whatever does nothing for me. This is how you use him. I'll just be honest. I think this was great use of him. Homeboy beat a legitimate star tonight. It helps him immensely. And I'm all for that.
Yes.
I'm with it.
So we'll see where that goes. And then we had the Cruiserweight title tournament match. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jack Gallagher, with Jack Gallagher picking up the win. So now we're off to the semifinals next week.
I didn't know about the placing of this match. This felt like a little bit of a letdown, if I'm being honest, where this was placed on the card, but whatever.
Then what about Aaliyah versus Kaden Carter? Kaden Carter picking up a win tonight.
Great. This was good, and this is why I didn't like the placement of the last match.
Yeah.
I think this started to decrescendo the show a little bit. No offense to Gallagher or any of the guys. It's just that we just got done seeing Finn Balor get beat. You know what I mean? That's big. That was a big deal. Actually, a much bigger deal. I would argue even potentially a main event type of
I agree with
win
that.
for that guy. I would have won off the air with that, but because of that, it felt like everything else after that was kind of a decrescendo. And unfortunately, here's Aaliyah busting her ass every day, getting an opportunity, gets on TV tonight, gets it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like the placing of it.
Yeah, no, actually, Matt, that's it. I couldn't put my finger on it. I've liked Aaliyah, and then I like the fact they're inevitably going to put her with Robbie. But I couldn't figure out why it didn't connect, and you very simplistically said it. It was just, what did it follow? And that's what I think killed it. So I think good point by you. But I mean, I'm glad that they're going to put Aaliyah in that stable, or at least it was seen, because I think she has a look. She
works her ass off.
Yeah, just from the spots that I've been able to identify as pretty cool. I think she's got something. So, but I think you're right. Where they put it didn't do it favors.
And Robert Stone was out there as well,
which I'm always a fan of. He's my boy. And one thing with Aaliyah, another thing is why that's good is because the rest of the locker room is going to see that. I can't tell you how important that is. When Jinder and people like that get opportunities, it electrifies the locker room. And that younger talent that haven't really gotten over yet and they're about to give up and say, well, I'm mid-card for life, I guess. Oh, well. And just check in like Dolph and others do. No offense to him because it's not his fault. But a lot of them do that. This electrifies them and says, well, shit, she finally got her break. This is awesome. I need to pick up my game too now. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Hard work pays off. Sorry.
Kaden Carter, as always, just looks like a badass.
$1 million.
Absolutely. So, oh man, this was so tough to watch. This Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae dinner table promo with the weird, like, double exposure focus effect. Like, what the hell?
I don't understand the order of this. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Nothing that we have seen tops, again, Finn Balor losing. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Again, this is something that I would have kicked the show off with, maybe put on number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this promo, I mean, Justin, how are you feeling about this? I like Gargano and LeRae as heels, and I like what they're trying to do, but these promos, I mean, like this, there's just nothing here. This isn't electric at all. This is like, feels very stale. And they're both great talents. I like them, Matt. I know you're not a big Gargano fan, but I think there's so much potential, and this just seems so weak.
Well, there's two sides of it. So Johnny and Candice playing heels, for me personally, very similar to Britt. The same story, Britt Baker. They've never, neither Johnny or Candice have ever made any money off of being heels. They've always been the baby faces. So I appreciate the fact that they are getting to do new territory, and I don't think they're bad at it. But I do agree these dinner side vignettes and promos
are corny.
Yeah, they're corny. They're and I know that the company is tasked with what everybody else in entertainment is, which is make the best of the situation given the pandemic. So I guess asterisk there, but yeah, I don't love the dinner time table stuff, but I do like Candice and Johnny as a heel tandem.
Absolutely. The way they're talking to each other, even though, like, this was so slow. I almost think it would have been better.
You know what's even slower?
What's that, Matt? Having to talk about it?
I'm being a good team sport here. Continue the show that's going on for 3 hours.
This podcast.
Anyhow, Manic Energy.
Matt, didn't you hear Raj is paying us by the 15-minute increments?
Yeah, right. Sure it is.
They need like Manic Energy. Like, I want them to be working each other up more, talking faster and faster. Like, they're almost feeding off. I don't know, something to just get it going. But this promo went on for way too long, and I think it does not make them look good. Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle in the main event tonight. Timothy Thatcher getting the win.
Okay, so this is a huge win for him. Obviously, I get that. When I saw this in the main event, I'm not going to joke. I went, "You got to be effing."
Yeah, sorry.
What? Well, read it again if you want. Okay.
No, wait a second. Oh, wait, Thatcher. Wait, why did Riddle's music hit after this? Now I'm confused as to what happened.
What?
Sorry, reread it again.
Wait, who actually won this? Because the Wrestling Inc. recap might be wrong. And honestly, I was getting ready to do the podcast right when this started.
Riddle won, but Thatcher attacked him after, and Thatcher put him in a submission hold. This
should not have been in the main event. That's all I wanted to say. That's what I said to my TV screen tonight. Why is this my main event on NXT?
So this was the thread of the night.
Two of the girl segments could have been the main event over this. Finn Balor could have been the main event over this.
Yeah, this was the thread of the night. They started a tag team match. Thatcher abandoned Riddle. Then Thatcher attacks Riddle backstage.
I don't care.
Regal gives the match. Well, never mind if you care or not from the story. And I'm a Matt Riddle fan, but I am too. I watch this, and I like pro wrestling, and I like to think that I have a baseline understanding of psychology. This was too grapple heavy of a match. It was just side by side to AEW's main event. It was just boring, bluntly to put. It was just boring. It was just too. It was too much technique and grapple.
Yeah, and chain, way too much chain. Also, really quick, I didn't understand why they felt this was a good main event, like a main event to even put out there.
Because it was the story, the bookend with the beginning, with the tag title and their loss. I mean, I see on paper why it made sense. And they were probably both there and available.
When you say bookending it like that, that does make sense. But let me ask you a question. If you have two pieces of bleep that begins this show, and the second that ends this show, do we really call it a bookend? Or do we just call it two pieces of bleep?
If it's got books in between it,
call it two pieces of bleep.
Matt, if it's got books in between it, they're bookends.
No, it smears all over the books is what it does. To be even more graphic, folks. But anyways, the moral of the story is this. There was 3 other segments, Glenn, that easily could have main evented this show, especially when AEW, in my opinion, they should have ended it with Jericho, to be perfectly fair. You know, they should have ended it with the Jericho segment. I know he's beating up a robot, whatever the hell you want to call that, drone. But still, I would have ended it with that. Yeah. So to be fair, they didn't end it in the hottest way I thought that they could have ended it either.
I think to summarize,
much better.
To summarize AEW tonight, or maybe even in general, AEW is very much crash TV week to week, and NXT feels like they are in it for a long term. NXT is trying to make you buy the long term.
They are, and Hunter said that 1,000 times on all of his pressers he does for it, and that's great. That's awesome. But by the same token, what about if the stories I don't care about, I now have to, like, I'll give you Matt Riddle and the Thatcher guy. I'm now stuck for 3 months in a storyline that I've got to now watch unfold. I don't care on how it unfolds. It can unfold, it can repack itself and go back into the story. It can unfold itself again 5 times over. I still will not care. It could be a Transformer and transform the Optimus Prime for all I care. I still won't care how it unfolds. Okay, so but to be fair to AEW, I don't want to call it Crash TV because that's to a degree it's an insult because Crash TV is just going for shock value.
No, I didn't mean insult.
Movie cameras,
no,
and whatnot. Whereas I think they do a better job of an AEW. And I'm not saying this at home. I'm being serious. They do a better job of making each segment feel different.
Right.
Because again, they do better vignettes and backstage stuff. Now the NXT's defense, not tonight with the one. What do you call it? We just said it earlier.
Oh, the Undisputed Era thing. The Gargano and
that was terrible.
Candace
the
thing.
good stuff. The good stuff. Not
Oh, the
shit
good stuff.
The guy and his girlfriend. You just said it earlier.
Oh, with Karrion Kross and
Yes,
Charlotte. Yes,
them. That was awesome.
So, all right, let me retract my Crash TV. AEW is doing very good, giving you segment A to segment B. NXT is saying we're going to give you a really good segment A to segment D. Wait it out, and we're going to give it to you a story. Like AEW is giving you.
Some of them are stories I don't care about.
Yeah, but that's the problem with all TV, though. I mean, how many TV shows do you watch?
Wait out. I don't watch it anymore. That's what I do. I click the channel.
But aren't there like B plots you don't like on good shows?
My wife does. She's the worst to watch TV with, dude. She fast forwards through like uncomfortable scenes in movies.
Oh God,
that you have to watch.
Matt,
she's like, I don't want to see this.
I just finished. My wife and I just finished season 3 of Ozark. And
dude,
there's some uncomfortableness at times where my wife turns away if she was a fast forward, and I'm like, F you.
You can't do that.
No, you cannot fast forward. Look away, leave the room.
It's going to ruin your slow burn. It's a slow burn show, and you're going to ruin it.
Yes.
You have to emotionally invest in this part. I know it's tough. I know you don't want to see this person get killed, but we have to, because there's going to be a payoff. It's going to mean so much more.
Exactly.
So why can't you do that with NXT? Because I don't care what happens to Thatcher. A bus can back over him. I won't care.
Yes. But in TV shows, like in season 2 of The Wire, I didn't care for the Ziggy character. In season 5, I didn't like the serial killer thing.
Made me cry. Made me cry when one young kid killed the other gang member. I don't remember the guy's name.
Michael killing Snoop. Spoilers for anyone with The Wire.
The tall, skinny African American kid.
When Bodie,
they always ran together.
Yo, with Poot, yeah. When Poot killed Wallace. Spoilers for The Wire.
He peed himself before he shot him. Do you remember?
Yes.
I cried. I just did a bodybuilding show that day, folks, and I was watching that backstage on my phone, and I'm bawling. That was such a great show.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But even in The Wire, though, so when season 2 started, weren't you like, who are all these white people and why do I care about them down at the docks? Like, it took me a while to kind of get into it.
Yes, it did. Yes, you're correct.
You know, and I like the entire show, but I'm just saying, like, so I'm used to doing that. But in wrestling, there's something about it in wrestling where it magnifies it almost, because we only get a limited amount of time each week. So I get what you're saying. It's very hard to look past this, but I had that problem with Undisputed Era. I know people love Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era being the main characters in NXT, for me, really, like, that's what I would zone out during. I wanted to watch the women.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So,
but that's fair. They all look similar, and there's a million reasons why I could see that.
Yeah.
Glenn, explain to me our chat, because I just got sent this. Apparently, within a minute of 30 seconds, one person goes, LaBar's an NXT fluffer, whatever the fuck that means. And then 30 seconds later, somebody goes, LaBar always thinks AEW does better. So which is it? Am I an AEW apologist or am I on the NXT payroll? Which is it, chat room? I'd love to know. Where am I at?
I just hate everything.
Here's one. You shouldn't care. Try it. It's the best. It's very freeing.
What do we got in the news stories, Justin?
All right, Matt, I got 4. Hopefully they all interest you. When I'm picking them, I go, what's Matt going to think when I do this one? All right. First, I do. That's a true story. All right, here we go. First one. WWE is reportedly, according to WrestleVotes, we've talked about before, a Twitter account that's had a lot of credibility. WWE reportedly looking at a new SummerSlam location that will allow fans to be present. They're even considering pushing the date back into September if it means getting to a location in a city that will allow some fans. So,
okay.
So again,
okay,
that is so far away, relatively speaking.
A lot can change. Who knows? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Next one. This is, of course, remember back in April that Oliver Luck, he was the XFL CEO and commissioner for Vince McMahon. He had sued. We know that he was suing Vince McMahon. We now know, according to Ben Fisher of Sports Business Daily, according to legal documents that were filed, So Oliver Luck was suing WWE, basically saying that this was unfair, that he was being let go the way he was, and he's owed a certain amount of money. Well, through Vince's attorneys and through what Vince's attorneys filed as gross neglect of his job, they were basing it on these 3 reasons. Reason number 1. Oliver Luck left the XFL's headquarters in Connecticut from his home in Indiana on March 13th and disengaged from XFL's operations. Vince claimed that Luck did not inform him of his intentions. To simplify it, the CEO was needed most, and Luck did not devote his time to the XFL in a need situation. Number 2, Oliver Luck used his league-issued iPhone for personal matters. Okay. And number 3, Oliver Luck Oliver Luck signed former NFL player Antonio Callaway, who played wide receiver for the Browns, to a draft contract promising him of $125,000 signing bonus. And McMahon had told Luck, "I do not want any players who have any kind of sketchy background," which Callaway does have some things on his record. So basically, Luck suing WWE, or suing Vince, Vince by his lawyers responding, saying this is what's justifying Vince's actions. So we will continue to watch how that unfolds. And finally, this is kind of a 2-for-1 story right here. So Sting here. Stang. So WWE Hall of Famer Sting. He is no longer, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, he is no longer under contract with WWE.
Okay.
WWE also pulled his Mattel action figure series. So, exactly. So this got people wondering. Now,
is he going to AEW? If one person writes that, take them off Twitter immediately. Go ahead.
Now, as all this is going on, Sting and Lance Archer in AEW had a very positive exchange of Sting putting over Archer. Cody Rhodes also got involved in the thread. So this got people to start thinking, all right, we've seen Bret Hart, we've seen Diamond Dallas Page. Is Sting maybe going to pop up in AEW?
A one-off promo at best.
Exactly. Well, PW Insider reports that sources closest to Sting are denying the rumors that there really is no connection to Sting in AEW.
I'll ask him. I will shoot him a text. I swear to God, I'll ask
shoot him a text.
I'll have it on here next week.
I love it, Matt. I'll give you my opinion in a second. Connected to that, we have an exclusive from Raj Giri and Wrestling Inc. with contracts. Ric Flair, his contract with WWE did expire at the end of 29. Ric Flair does have a new WWE contract. So there's a lot of talk about legends. Are legends up for grabs to possibly be used by AEW? Ric Flair's on a WWE contract. Sting is a free agent. I will say this, though, and I'll give credit to our other podcasts here. My initial thought with Sting was, look, it's like you just said, Matt, I could see him for a one-off promo. But Nick Hausman, who does the Wrestling Inc. Daily with me, Nick brought up a very good point.
Which was?
I thought that Sting's had a mania moment. WWE got whatever they wanted out of Sting. The one thing WWE has not got out of Sting is now we've seen you could do a boneyard match. You could do something with Sting and Undertaker in an edited situation. Even more on the fact is this. If you analyze and look at Sting's actions from another angle, it almost looks like a bit of a power play. Like Sting's trying to force WWE's hand here. And look, Edge just admitted on a WWE 24 that AEW was going after him. And he instead went to Vince first. Vince obviously brought him back, and we know what's happened here. Prior to that, I don't know who reported it, but I'll just say it now.
Really quick, let's just fast forward to it because you're taking forever. So you think Sting is doing this so he can play WWE, leverage AEW, and make Vince bring him back and make him wrestle versus Undertaker in a movie match?
Yes, because one other example before Edge was Goldberg was also rumored to be talking to the Khans, and within weeks after that, Goldberg was announced for a Crown Royal match in Saudi Arabia against Undertaker. So I do think Sting could be playing the playbook of getting one more payday from WWE, and we could see a match maybe.
Here's the thing about Sting. It won't be a match because he's another one that is actually, believe it or not, very particular about how he ends his career, about not wrestling when he still can't go. I know you guys don't believe that. He's very serious about that. So I don't think it'll be a match. You know, could he be doing it to leverage for like a movie style match, like Boneyard? You could be onto something then, Justin. Yeah. I hope that's what he's doing because I don't want to see him leave WWE because this dude for years, you know, never got that WWE money. He just started to get it. I don't want to see him lose it. The guy deserves it.
Well,
He's a good man. He's a great man.
And the beautiful thing about the
younger talents too, by the way.
The beautiful thing the Boneyard match showed us for Taker and anybody who's his opponent.
Fight forever. You
can fight forever. It's a stunt Hollywood movie. You're falling on crash pads. It's protected. You can have 50 takes. It's not the live take in a ring in front of a crowd. So
you don't have to explain it.
No, in fact, Matt, if you're going to text Sting, I would be like, you need to demand creative control, and I want you to demand that you're going to get a director in there. Hell, get Alex Proyas or someone who directed The Crow. Get like a real film director in there. Let Sting have creative control and do like the most epic match with him and Taker. None of this Vinceism shit. Let it be real.
Screw that. I'm going for Dolo. I'm going for myself and say, hey, listen, this would be a great time to introduce me. What do you think, Sting? No.
It could be incredible. Yeah.
Fans be like, who brought Iron Mike Sharp back?
I think a cinematic match with Sting would be incredible. And I mean,
it would be. I think you're right. Justin, I hope that's what happens. I do. Because that would be a cool way for them all to go out.
All we ever wanted to see of Sting and Taker was the entrances and the backstory of their characters.
Yes, dude. Mm-hmm. Magic powers.
The moment the bell rings in Saudi Arabia and they have to do an actual wrestling match, we don't care. But if you do if you do a cinematic match, the Crow, the Taker, infinite possibilities.
In fact, that could be. I think that could be Taker's last match as well. I think that would be an epic way for both of them to go out.
I think Taker's last. I could see this for SummerSlam, and there's all the, as I just said, there's all the questions of where SummerSlam's. Yeah. If you do Sting and Taker for SummerSlam, I do think Taker's last could be the exact 30-year anniversary of Survivor Series in November from 30 years. If he ends it at Survivor Series, that could be the end. So SummerSlam with Sting, whatever at Survivor Series, and then
wasn't it last year's Survivor Series?
You can't wrestle on a real match though.
Yeah,
90 to 2020. That's 30 years.
90. I thought it was 80.
You don't want to see him. No, you don't want to see him in the match.
Him versus Snuka.
Although he could tag in and out. He could tag in and out.
Or not 5-on-5. Sorry, not Snuka, but no Survivor Series. Yeah, Survivor Series 1990 was his first one.
Well, there you go. I think that would be a good way to go out. Wrestling Enthusiast 499 saying Edge would have went to AEW.
My battery's dying because this show's taking forever.
I don't think Count Bunny go to AEW just for the money. Thank you, Wrestling Enthusiast. And lastly, the last super chat of the night, Mario Chris. Buck99 saying Raj Run show is like party supervised by parents. Yes, the parents are away.
It feel that way. It did, but I had fun with Raj. I mean, Raj let me go a little bit in the beginning, talk about, Glenn Rubenstein and his romantic prowess for his wife's birthday and my guess to what he was doing. But then, that's all I got in. That's all of my belief that I was able to get in on that episode. That's literally it. I got nothing else in.
Well, there you go. So on that note, folks,
2 super chats. So Glenn, these fans love you.
Well, and I love them. So Friday night, we're gonna be back here to talk SmackDown. Me, Matt, Justin. We'll catch you then. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane,